Hey friends, it's Holly from Happy Quilty People. We are live today to talk about our Boho Heart Quilt Along. Glad you are here. I'm going to wait just a second while everybody finds us. I'm going to ask a technical question to my daughter who's driving while I'm riding in the car today. Do you think I can have Bluetooth on to connect to my AirPods, but not connect to the car? Yeah. Okay. She says yeah. All right. We're going to try that. There we go. All right. I'm going to turn my Bluetooth back on. Right. I'm going to go ahead and get started and tell you a little bit about the Jen Kingwell Boho Heart Quilt Along that we're doing. We're starting February 2026 and going through February of 2027. Man, it feels weird to say that. Um, but our time frame is such that we're going to make about a dozen blocks a month, and then by the 10th month, we'll be done creating blocks, and we'll even start to assemble the quilt, and we'll have a month at the end that's for quilting. So in theory, if you were working just a little teeny bit ahead of pace, you would have time to get it quilted, and you could have a made heart quilt ready by next Valentine's Day in 2027. So I'm joining together with April and Lenore of Artsy Girl Gang to do this quilt along. And our heart for you is that we just want to share quilting with you. We want to create some space for you to enjoy doing something crafty, something artistic, something that uses your hands. And that is, we believe that using your hands and doing art is very healing for you. And so we think this is the perfect quilt to do that. If you are a beginner quilter, we want to make this easy for you. And so we're offering that if you aren't ready for these pieced blocks, but you think it might be fun to kind of join us on some of our live events, you can do that by just making this heart just a big patchwork quilt. So if it says make a 10-inch block that's got lots of parts and pieces to it, you would just put in a 10-inch piece of fabric square that you like. So we say do you and do what you want. So you can find Artsy Girl Gang on Facebook. And on Facebook, you're going to look for the event under Artsy Girl Gang. And the event is called Boho Heart Quilt Along. And we've kind of put everything, instead of having a separate page for this event, we've put it all on Facebook under Boho Heart Quilt Along as an event. And then there's also a discussion tab right there. And then that's where we'll post things that you need to know. For example, the link to the schedule is posted there. So you can go there. And the reason that we've done this is this sends you reminders on Facebook when we're going to be live every month for the Zoom. So the Zoom is going to happen on the last Sunday of the month at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. The YouTube lives are going to happen on the second Sunday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then the in-person event is happening in the Phoenix area. And I guess Phoenix local time, that would probably be more like 2 p.m. On the second Thursday. And Lenore is leading those groups. So those are kind of all the different ways that you can join in. The purpose of the YouTube Live on the second Sunday is just to have a chance for some studio sewing time. Today I'm leaving a workshop, and so I happen to be in my car. Other days, I hope to be more in the studio sewing, just some time for us to hang out online. And you can join in the chat there. There won't be an option for you to have a camera if it's the YouTube Lives. But on the last Sunday of the month, when we do our Zoom calls, you will have the option to turn on your camera if you want to. And our hope there is that you'll just join in for some community time. We hope that we can inspire you, encourage you, and bring what you've got. Even if it's something that's maybe not finished and you have a question about that, bring that. It's not about a performance. It's just about joining together, some space to get to have community and to get to share what we're doing with one another. So maybe you've just found your fabric that you love, bring that and show us that on the Zoom calls. Let's see, I've got notes here to remind you all. So is it coming through the car speakers? No? Okay. Sorry, my co-pilot is waving at me. Oh, I'm sorry. I know what she's asking. It's this side. We're pulling up to a gas station. She wants to know what side the gas tank is on. This event is totally free to you, and it's just because we want to create some online community. My heart in creating all of the Happy Quilty People spaces online for you is just because I realize that quilting or sewing can be a very isolating experience, because you just set up your sewing machine and wherever you're setting it up in your house, your apartment, whatever, and then you're by yourself. And so we want to create some space where you can be together, can have some encouragement. I am going to put tutorials up for each month's Boho Heart on the Boho Heart playlist on YouTube, and you will be able to find tutorials about what to do. Let me tell my daughter where the gas tank hatch is. So down low, there's 2 pull buttons. It's the one that's closest to the door. Lower than that, maybe? Yeah. And then you're gonna, yeah, got it. Okay. So there will be a playlist on the Happy Quilty People YouTube channel so that you can watch what's happening, find which month we're on for the block of the month. And then in the discussion, kind of the box underneath the video, that's where I'll repost the schedule of which blocks we're sewing for that month. I'll put in links of anything that I think you might find useful, tools that I might use that might be handy for that month. Those are the things. So what you need to purchase, there's no cost for the block of the month program, but what you need to purchase is your fabrics. And there's some links to there to show you how much fabric you need. I've also put that in the Artsy Girl Gang event posting so that you can see what you need there for fabrics. And you need to purchase the Jen Kingwell pattern for Boho Heart. If you have already purchased your fabrics, if you've already decided, tell me what you're doing for your color palette. I've posted a video about the color palette that I chose. Lenore has just posted photos of hers over on that event site. Or actually, I posted hers for her because I was so excited. I thought they were so cute. Anyway, post your photos. Show us what you're doing. This is community. We want to interact with you. We want you to post the things that you're doing. We want to encourage you. let's see. So tell us your color palette for next month's YouTube Live. And I may do a separate video of this as well as a tutorial. Start thinking about what your background fabric needs to be, what's going around your heart. And it can be any color you want. It doesn't have to be just white. It can be whatever you're doing. But I'm going to tell you a way to do a creative, artsy thing with that. And I'm not gonna really tell you any materials that you might need until right when we get there. But just know that's coming. So be thinking and gathering your background fabrics. And just so you know, I live in a place that I'm not especially close to a quilt store. So for me, it's like a little bit of a drive, no matter even my closest quilt store. And then sometimes they don't have what kind of exactly fits what your vision is. And so it may take you a couple of quilt stores, or you may have to order online. And if you have questions about any of that, like ask the people that are in your area. If you're in the Phoenix area, ask April and Lenore, like, where are my local quilt shops? What will be good for me there? We're here to help. We're here to coach and guide and hold each other's hand through this whole process. If you look at this whole quilt as one big thing, it's overwhelming. But we're going to break it down so that it's just a dozen blocks per month. That's what we want to do. We want to make it as easy as we can. And a dozen blocks doesn't mean that several of them won't have a little more complicated piecing, won't take some time. But that's just about the evenest way we could figure out to work it out. We want each group of blocks per month to have kind of a theme, so something that we're learning to teach. And then each block will have, like, for example, one month we're going to do half square triangles. And so there'll be kind of a theme. We're going to learn how to do a half square triangle in the tutorial in case you don't know. So Lenore is going to be there in person. April will be there in person, just to help you guys. They're both experienced quilters, and gosh, I wish I could be there. They're going to be so much fun. I live in West Texas, and so I'm far away from them in Phoenix. But I'm glad that we get to do things virtually together. The schedule for the block of the month. You can find that at Happy Quilty People. That's quilty with a Y, happyquiltypeople.com. If you go to the blog, you can find the schedule for the block of the month. And that's just kind of a live schedule. I've decided that was the best way to do it, instead of giving you maybe something that you printed out. And then that way, if we need to adjust it, like if we get going and we're like, oh, we're scared of month 9, like, let's redo that. Let's reframe that and do it differently. Then we can have some ability to change it. And so that's why we've posted it there. A fun thing that we're going to do is we want to do a fabric swap. For those of you who are in person in the Phoenix area, you will get to do this like one-on-one. In the comments, I would love to see what your thoughts are. What would you like to swap? Here's what we're thinking. We could just do a fat quarter and do a fat quarter swap. We could do a low volume print swap for backgrounds, but some of that depends on kind of what everybody's doing for backgrounds. If a lot of you are doing a dark background, that might not make sense. And then I think an option I like is 3-inch squares. I was in a quilt shop recently, and they had a little package of 3-inch squares, which aren't a commercially available thing. Someone had cut up some pieces of fabric to sell as 3-inch squares. But that's the size that we're going to need for all of our half square triangles for this quilt-along. And so I thought it might be fun to do an exchange where everybody sends in a short stack of 3-inch squares of one fabric, and then we redistribute it so that everybody gets, several of each fabric back, so that you've got just a whole wide variety of fabrics to use for your 3-inch squares. So I thought that might be a fun way for us to just kind of interact with one another, have some community, get to exchange some fabrics. That would be fun. I like to think if we were doing an actual in-person sewing bee, that's kind of what would happen organically. Somebody would say, oh my gosh, I've got a lot of that color left over. Here, have some of mine. I'm tired of that fabric. So that's what we'll do for our fabric swap. Let us know which way you think sounds good. Let us know what other questions you have about the Boho Heart Quilt Along. I think that's all the information that I have for you. Thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure you subscribe to Happy Quilty People. If you will turn on your alarm bell, then you'll get notified when I go live. And so then that way you won't miss any of our second Sunday lives. And then you also won't miss when the new tutorials get posted. And I'll be posting those tutorials at the beginning of the month. So you can start looking at the beginning of the month to see. I'm glad you're here. I thank you for joining us. I hope that you guys have fun. Let us know if you need any help, if you've got any questions, because that's what we're here for. We're glad that you are joining us on this crazy adventure, and we hope that you enjoy it. Happy quilting, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.